recent analysis has proved that there's probably two people inside of me, just like a Gemini, and we haven't determined what sex that other person is yet.
Did you say I'm not even sure what sex it is, or he or she or it is? Did you say that?
Yeah.
I thought I heard that.
It's an absolute honor for me to be here to present the first award. Thank you.
Is forever known as Prince.
Albums still matter. Like books and Black lives, albums still matter. Tonight and always.
Musical excellence, like beauty, is in the eyes of the beholder. To those who behold, I can only hope that my music continues to please. I thank you very much for this. Good night.
What I'm getting from you is that you are very much in touch with both sides of yourself, your masculine and feminine side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And always have been. And so people grow up thinking that you're weird or that you're gay because of it, and that never bothered you?
Hey, whatever floats the boat.
Whatever peanut butters your jelly.
Yeah, there you go.
Once a person gets a firm grip of life and death, then they fully understand both. For example, you had how many birthdays?
Me? What do you think?
Well, I know that you had one birthday.
Yeah.
You were born
Yeah.
on a certain day.
Absolutely.
You had no more birthdays after that. So I don't celebrate birthdays, so that stops me from counting days, which stops me from counting time, which allows me to still look the same as I did 10 years ago, just like that lady said. One thing I'd like to say is that I don't live in a prison, and I'm not afraid of anything. I haven't built any walls around myself. I'm just like anyone else. I need love and water. And I don't really consider myself a superstar. I live in a small town and I always will. Because I can walk around and be me. And that's all I want to be. That's all I ever tried to be. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just tried to do my best. And if somebody dug it, then...
Why are you giving interviews and refusing to speak? Why? He's agreed to his first television interview in over a decade, but is refusing to answer any questions. And don't tell me you lost your voice, because I heard you singing 5 minutes ago.
Tonight.
But couldn't you, like, sing your answers? I mean, I just don't understand why you won't speak. Because it's like that, and that's the way it is? What about the mask?
It's an absorbent thing. That was a good movie.
He's too ugly to look upon.
Yeah.
No, you got to do better than that. You're too ugly to look upon, because that is not true. You get out there and shake your thing every night.
This is Michael B's part.
That's to cover up for his ugliness.
What ugliness, though? I
You're
mean,
not ugly.
You're not ugly, baby. Now, the press keeps talking about the dispute with your record company. Is there a dispute there? I mean, it seems that's what's driven you out of America. That's what's made you change your name to an unpronounceable symbol.
He changed his name because his spirit told him to.
A spirit?
His spirit.
And do you feel freer now that you can't be addressed? A little bit? There's just one last thing I want to ask you. All right, who does your hair?
Do you still have the same firm belief in reincarnation? Since you don't count days and don't count birthdays?
Do you still have the firm belief in not wearing ties?
Yeah.
You obviously, you've grown a lot and you've changed since 1982 and the 80s when you were putting out music. But you were always thought of as somebody who was putting out extremely sexual music. Mm-hmm. Is that a problem to you, or are you talking more about the profanity?
Yeah, sexuality is not bad.
No.
I'm talking about sexuality is very spiritual in nature, and that's a God-given gift too. I'm talking about just plain disintegration, where you're not even speaking the truth anymore, and the violent imagery that's permeated the society and our music now.
Records when you were a teenager. You're barely more than that now, are you?
19.
19. Well, you got another year to go before you graduate. How many years ago did you make these demos and then have offers on them? And why would you turn it down?
They wouldn't let me produce myself.
You were 15 at the time.
Yeah.
Would they think you didn't know what you were doing?
Don't know.
Were you ever disappointed that you didn't let them do that to you?
No.
Did somebody tell me you played every instrument on this album? Is that correct?
Maybe.
No, you're very shy, modest. How many instruments do you play?
1,000.
Moments will be with you. Thousands? No. Literally, do you play all the instruments?
A lot.
If that is the case, then, I know. If you're out traveling, then you've got to have backup people. Are these people the ones that travel with you? What are your plans for travel?
We have a tour coming up in a few weeks. At the heart of the matter, though, is the music. I am a musician. I don't sample, It's not Memorex. I go on stage and my microphone is on.
Mm-hmm. What? Speaking of sampling, what do you think of sampling?
The ego is one thing, and money is one thing, but reverence for life and service to others is the key to getting off this planet. Whenever we get too tied down to anything on Earth, be it a name, a body, a lifestyle, that's the road to ruin. When you get too worried about the human body and this lifetime, and you put too much effort in it, in a negative sense, like fighting someone, it just keeps you from your goal.
Yeah.
So I don't bother. There's a mountain and it's mighty high, but you cannot see the top unless you fly. There's a molehill of proven ground, but there ain't nowhere to go if you hang around. Everybody wants to sell what's already been sold. Everybody wants to tell what's already been told. What's the use of money if you ain't gonna break the mold? Even at the center of fire there's cold, and all that glitters ain't gold. There are a lot of great things in this business of music that we're in, but there are also some things that aren't so great. Like the rights of an artist to do with his art what he wants, when and how he wants, and even when he delivers the music he agreed to 15 albums ago. But one child got free, and it was truly a beautiful experience. I'm very grateful to Mo Austin and Lenny Waronker of Warner Brothers for that opportunity. Perhaps one day all the powers that are will realize that it is better to let a man be all that he can be than to try to limit his output to just what they can handle. Our sources tell us that there's just too much music. Well, my sources, all of you, tell me to be all I can be. For this, I am eternally grateful. Peace and be wild.
If you could, could we please remain standing? If you could.
Some people find it odd that when we win anything in this game, we give praise back unto God. Well, in somebody else's game, any triumph makes us feel blessed. When it's your game, you make the rules, everything comes easy. All your friends are in key positions, so when you decide you don't want to play anymore, you never leave empty-handed. Can somebody say golden parachute? Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well. The majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
Incredible, extraordinary characters, Kate was a bit of an enigma as well, and I think you described Morris as having a number of personas, like the sort of the prince that we saw. You get the taskmaster, the perfectionist, but also there were other parts to his character.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people ask me, like, man, how did you stay like 20 years? How did you stay so long? And I just said I really figured out that there was several versions of him, you know, and so what helped me is when I put it all together and I just like come in at the beginning of the day, I just wait and see who shows up. If it's Purple Rain Prince, if it's the rehearsal Prince, or if it's the one, the prankster. And then when I would see, then it was like, okay, I got number 2 here today, so it's going to be, I just tell the band, we got number 2 today. So it's going to be trouble if you're not on your A game.
It's literally like another personality you're talking about.
Well, what they seemed to find was that it was someone I had created when I was 5 years old.
Really?
Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, I'm not sure yet, but I hope to find out.
They, like psychologists, therapists?
Well, actually, I found out because I took someone through therapy. So.
And you found out that there is another person living inside you.
This is turning into a Sybil interview.
No. Does that person have a name that we could call?
That's what is so interesting to me, is that I think that's why I changed my name. I think that's who I am now.
Really?
I very much feel divorced from Prince.